Hello, my name's Kevin. I'm one of the horticulturalists here at the Greenery Garden and Home. Well, it's winter in Melbourne and it's traditional rose planting time. So today's topic is on roses and the varieties that are suitable for planting at this time of the year. So why is it a good time to plant roses in the middle of winter? At this time of the year, roses are actually in winter dormancy. So they have no leaves, no flowers, and essentially bare twigs. But it does lend the possibility of planting the roses now. It's a more suitable time for planting while the roses are dormant. And come the spring and warmer weather, the roses grow away quite happily. So through the winter they settle in, you add a little bit of fertiliser to encourage new growth, and then in the warmer weather you'll get a flush of new growth and flowers, normally around about Melbourne Cup Day in Victoria. So roses come in various forms. This is a typical bush rose. This is a variety called Mother's Love, which is a very popular rose for bereavements and for birthdays, etc. The bush roses grow on average about 1 metre to 1.5 metres, depending on the variety. And one of the great things with roses, they're all grafted, so it makes the rose bush a much stronger plant and more adaptable to various soil types around Victoria. Bush roses are easy to grow, providing they're in an open, sunny position. Plenty of air movement around the plant helps to discourage fungal diseases that they may be prone to getting. At least 5 to 6 hours sun a day is ideal. If you plant them in too much shade, they tend not to flower very well. So sun-loving, heat-loving plants, as long as there's plenty of air circulating, and regular feeding to encourage more flowers, and a reasonable amount of water through hot, dry periods, particularly through the summer. This is another great bush rose, a very popular rose called Father's Love. Has a beautiful red full rose flower with a good strong fragrance, and you would treat them like any rose, keep them in the warm sunny spot. The flowers can be cut and brought indoors to enjoy in a vase, but they will flower continuously once they start, right through the summer months in Melbourne, through to autumn when the weather changes, and then they stop flowering. So you'll be rewarded with lots of flowers over a very long period. This is another bush rose, a great variety called Blue Moon. It's an older variety, but still very popular, grown for its unusual flower colour and great fragrance. The colour is not true blue as in the name, it's more of a mauvey, purpley tonings, but makes a great cut flower, makes a good pot plant, providing it's getting the sun and the feeding as I recommended before. With any of your roses, it's worth remembering to prune off the old flowers as they finish. And if you do that on a regular basis, it encourages the new flowers to come through. So you'll be rewarded continuously through the warmer months with more and more flowers. But look out for this variety. It's a variety that's very popular called Blue Moon. Roses are very versatile plants and come in different forms. This is a climbing rose, and it's a variety called Just Joey, which has large apricot-y coloured flowers and very good perfume rose. Grows to about 2 by 2 metres, so if it's supported on a sunny wall or a trellis in an open situation, it would grow happily. Flowers over a long period again, right through the warmer months of the year, and a great cut rose as well. Climbing roses also can be grown in a pot. Given the right size container, they need a reasonable amount of room to grow, and regular feeding helps to encourage the growth and the flowers. So you can imagine this growing on a hot northern or western wall or a fence, over an arch, on some sort of trellising, and it looks spectacular as the flowers produced through the warmer months of the year. This is a newer climbing rose, one of the newer varieties. This is called Kiss Me Kate. Has large full double pink flowers with a great fragrance. It's going to grow to approximately 2 by 2 metres. It's one of the easier growing varieties of roses. Grows quickly, flowers over a long period, and has that great summer fragrance. Can be used again in a pot in a warm, sunny, well ventilated area. For those gardeners that haven't got a lot of room in the garden or are looking to mass plant a garden bed with lots and lots of roses, these are compact varieties known as the flower carpet roses. Flower carpets average up to around about 70 to 80 centimetres high by roughly 90 centimetres to a metre wide. They flower prolifically, smaller flowers than normal bush roses, but flower over a very long period and come in a great range of colours. This is a white variety. This is one of the original flower carpet roses, but they do come in pink, they come in darker pinks, they come in salmony sort of colours and white, even a coral colour. They're all very hardy plants. They grow quite easily in a hot, dry, sunny spot. So if there's an area in the garden there you're struggling to find plants to grow because it may be hot, or you're wanting to cover large areas, these look great mass planted, normally spaced around about 70 to 80 centimetres apart, and they'll quite quickly cover quite a big area. Also suitable for pots, can also be grown in hanging baskets, providing again that it's sunny. Roses all love the sun. So look out for these. These are called flower carpet roses. So I mentioned roses come in all different forms. This is what's called a standard rose. It's essentially a bush rose growing on a longer stem. These have been grafted at the top of the stem to produce the standard, but the foliage itself will grow as a normal bush. The standard roses also come in a great range of colours. This particular variety is called Fragrant Cloud, which is almost an orangey red toning to the flowers, and as the name suggests, has got a very good, strong fragrance. Standard roses are often planted in either pairs or numbers of pairs in the garden. The beauty of a standard, it brings the flowers and the foliage up higher where it can be enjoyed with people walking past, for instance. They are also useful for growing in pots. They can be used for formal type gardens, again providing it's a sunny spot. You prune the plants as you would a bush rose. You treat them the same way. Just need to make sure they're securely staked, because with them being a little bit taller, they're more prone to getting blown around in the wind. But if they're securely staked and regularly checked, then they'll reward you for many, many years. These are what they call standard roses. For those of you who can't resist the really dark red flowering rose with fantastic fragrance, there's a couple here that I'd have to recommend. Mr. Lincoln has been around for quite a number of years, but it's still probably one of the best dark red roses. Very fragrant and very prolific in its flowering over a very long period. If you're a rose lover or want to get into growing some roses in your garden, I would certainly recommend having a Mr. Lincoln as part of that range. There is another one called Black Velvet, which has similar sort of tonings, that dark red colour, and again a very fragrant rose. An older rose, but still a great rose. Either of those would make a fantastic part of a rose garden, and would be happy in a pot if you are limited for space in the garden. Mr. Lincoln or Black Velvet. Remember that winter is a fantastic time to be planting roses in the garden. It's when we have our best range of varieties of roses any time through the winter months. And at this time of the year, they're looking a bit bare, but with the promise of things to come and a little bit of TLC, they get off to a really good start. I'd always recommend adding some sort of fertiliser at planting time. This is a good general rose food. It's called Sudden Impact for Roses, and it's suitable for growing roses either in the ground or in pots. And you would use it on an ongoing basis as the flower flushes finish on the roses through the warmer months. You'd prune off the old flowers. You would add a bit of fertiliser to encourage new growth and new flowers to come through. Sudden Impact for Roses is very good for any types of rose, and it's one of the more natural type fertilisers, so it's safe for us to use, safe for the environment, but particularly good for growing your roses. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed the talk today on roses. If you have any specific questions or other things you'd like to know, any of the horticultural staff here at the Greenery Garden and Home are only happy to help. We're open 6.5 days a week, and we're here to help you with any of the queries regarding gardening or roses, whatever it might be. Thanks for watching.